Welcome, 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 trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. Time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solutions show, sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, also known as Proof. Its mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics, featuring stand-up philosophy that includes anthropology, psychology, biology, metaphysics, medicine, psychodrama, comedy, and music through a genre called edutainment, educating while entertaining, coined by KRS-One. The host of this wonderful show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MED1, and myself, co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MED2.
Come on. Yeah.
Well, I must continue since we're on camera. Hola, I have the PH.
And I
has
have
the
M.
We
We
both
both
have
have
Ds.
D's. That
That
makes us Doc squared.
The title of today. Pardon me?
Can't see you yet.
Okay, good.
Now start that over, please.
All right. Hola. I have the PH. He
I
has
have
the
M.
We both have
D's. That makes us Doc
squared.
squared. Ha ha! Yes.
The title of today's show is Patriotism is for blank.
Patriotism is for blank.
Yes. What
Uh-huh.
is the un-American way?
Yes. Now, we're going to be talking about something today. It's called anti-American. That's A, and it's not Alcoholics Anonymous. Anti-American. We're going to investigate what that means, who that is, how that's done, so forth and so on, yada, yada, yada. But first, the Hip Hope Trio Plus.
Yes.
Hip Hope. That's a long O, and yeah, it ain't hop, it's hip hope. The art of being.
Yes.
Okay? We're going to introduce you to a lot of different things on the hip hope tip. But for right now, I will simply say,
Ah. He said it.
I did. I surely did.
Yeah.
You say you want to do what? Meg?
Huh?
Are we all right?
Both cameras are malfunctioning.
Well, yeah, she just opened that one up. Good.
Okay.
All righty. So are we going to do an audible?
Okay.
They should be good now.
All right. Okay.
That would need to come back.
All righty.
Yeah, that one's better. The other one needs to go. No, it's fine. Forget it. It's cool. All right. Can we move on now?
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. We got that squared away.
Yes.
The Hip Hop Trio Plus we're through with. Now we have a special occasion today, and today we have a special song that we're going to sing.
Oh, yes, for Lion 44.5.
And to him, this is Unhappy Birthday to ya. Unhappy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, a rain on your parade. Yeah. You were arraigned on your birthday eve.
Yes.
Ha ha ha! It's no accident. This is Line 44.5's birthday. That's why we're in celebration attire. And he got arraigned yesterday. Arraigned on his parade.
All
Lord
right.
help him,
Yes,
Lord help him.
y'all.
But the view of the past 7 days has been so amazing. I want everybody to simply understand that you are alive. You are present at this point in time. Being alive right now is like being alive, when mankind discovered fire, or when humanity understood what life was actually about.
Yes.
Being alive today is something that will be talked about as long as there are human beings, and especially as long as there's a place called the United States of America.
Ashe.
The indictment of the president and his top two lawyers resigned after his indictment was opened by Jack Smith. A very slick move opening that indictment. Instead of letting line 44.5 run around for about 4 or 5 days talking a whole bunch of yang about this, that, and the other, Jack Smith opened up the indictment and gave everybody a look at not only line 44.5 was being indicted, but how. Oh yeah, I love me some Jack Smith.
Yeah.
I really, really, really do.
All right. What's wrong with your mic?
It's the first ever, that's my leaning over it,
Okay.
first ever and most significant domestic illegal event since the Civil War. And it is absolutely essential.
Yes.
It is completely necessary that this happen right now. This person who was once in charge of our country and jacked it up, killed about 1.5 million citizens due to his incompetence with COVID infection, screwed up all of our allies with his down talking of NATO, jacked up most of the right-wing leaders on the planet, thinking that they had a support agent here in the United States of America. That needed to be abridged, and this arraignment did just that.
Yes. Ty, glad you joined us.
Hey,
We're gonna
hey!
Talk to you some more in a few more
Ty,
minutes.
Ty, hey, family. Oh, this is going to be good for you, Ty. Law must prevail, and his being indicted is that law that must prevail. Now, notice that most of the MAGA folks are all up in arms and talking a whole bunch of yang about him being indicted. I guarantee you, little to no reading of the indictment has taken place in people who say that. Because everybody needs to get.
And we do have a copy of it.
Their own copy
Yes.
of the indictment.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we got our own copy of the indictment. Yes, indeed. Notice I've been writing a whole bunch of stuff on it. Evan Corcoran, he is Trump attorney number 1. Alina Hoba is Trump attorney number 2. I'm writing a whole bunch of stuff on it, but everybody needs to get a copy.
And they're
Right.
encouraging people to read it because it reads like a novel. They made it.
It does.
So
It
everybody
is
can
so
understand it.
very readable. It's not a whole bunch of legalese terms. It's not a whole bunch of lawyer talk.
Right.
It's regular folks talk. And you can get a copy. We got our own copy. Just going to the president indictment copy. You can Google it and they'll take you to it. It's like getting an original copy of the Declaration of Independence, or the Gettysburg Address, or even the Magna Carta from all the way in England. But who is the focus of all of this? Who is this actually about? The person that was the last president before Joey B? I call him line 44.5 because he's not a whole person, so he sure can't be a whole president. 44.5. Okay, Joy Reid on the 9th, states that the present situation reflects on the many sides of the individual. Joy said, the New York prosecution represents line 44.5's greed and finality. The E. Jean Carroll case, and I see what you're saying, I put a G instead of a J.
Okay.
The E. Jean Carroll case represents his aggressive brutality and subconscious fear and hate of females. But this document case gets to his lack of basic patriotism and his weirdness and oddness. It's the January 6th piece that gets to his utter hatred of the United States of America as a country. And I totally, completely agree with Joy to the extent that each of these indictments will also show up various flaws in his characters. One of the major ones is his malignant narcissism that has already gotten him in so much trouble. His mouth keeps roasting his ass. Let's start there, but look backward and forward to find out where we are and what it means. Looking backward,
Yes.
Donald John Trump is not Donald John Trump. His grandfather's last name was Drumpf, D-R-U-M-P-F. His name should be Donald John Drumpf, Donald Drumpf. That should be his name. His grandfather left Germany rather than face 3 years of compulsory military service. His grandfather, Frederick Drumpf, did not want to be in the military. He was a pimp and drug dealer, making a fortune running brothels and opium dens. When police cracked down on his criminal rackets, he escaped to Germany only to be deported as a draft dodger and tax fraud. And look at his head. Tell me that ain't line 44.5's head. And those ears. Yes, that's his grandfather. Fred lied about German roots and said he was Scandinavian. Frederick Drumpf had a son called Fred. This was line 44.5's father. And Fred told everybody he was Scandinavian. He wasn't German. He didn't want his Jewish friends, oh my God. He did not want his Jewish friends and clients to get upset with his German background, German roots, and pimp for a father. Line 44.5 did the same as his unpatriotic ancestors. His bone spurs stopped him from going to Vietnam. None of his father's grandparents and only one parent was ever born in the United States of America. So all the problems he's got with immigrants, why? When all of your relatives, all of your family were just that, immigrants. His second year of his presidency, I want to cut through a whole bunch of 2016, 2017. I want to break all the way to 2018. He is in Europe, and he's in Europe for VE Day. This is celebrating the victory in Europe as well as the Normandy invasion. And it was there that he asked one of his liaisons, when looking at all of these graves, of people marked as heroes, he asked his liaison, why'd they do that stuff? Why did they put themselves in danger? He could not understand why anyone would do that for a country. His father didn't do it for this country. His grandfather didn't do it for his country, Germany. He could not understand this thing called patriotism. Had no understanding of it. He said, patriots are suckers. That's, again, a direct quote from line 44.5.
Yes.
Patriots are suckers. Because he's not going to be no sucker. What he considered to be a very negative thing was what most, quote, Americans consider to be heroic. And most significantly, American.
Yeah.
To be patriotic is to be American. So let's take a look at being American. Now, I want to warn everybody, America has some very negative traits and negative sides. What they did to the Native Americans who owned this place
Yes.
was ridiculous.
And they didn't even consider themselves owning anything, not property,
No,
not animals.
no. How can you own
land.
what God made?
Right.
Duh. But Western Europeans, nuh-uh. They didn't have any psychology or any cultural identity that made that part of their living.
Yes.
No, their living was about taking anything and everything they could from somebody else who had it. That's the whole history of Western Europe. Native American treatment, negative American traits and characteristics, actions. Racism, which, believe it or not, didn't form the true basis of what they did to Native Americans. But racism, in and of itself, a Western European problem, was definitely an American failing. Anti-feminism, because, again, in Western Europe, females were owned. Females were property. Females belonged to a male. Before they got married, they belonged to their father. And their father could do whatever the hell he wanted with them. He could sell them. He could rape them, but it wasn't rape in them days, no, because you belonged to him. Females were not citizens. Unless you happen to be born in a royal family, your life was not ever considered to be worthwhile. Last but not least, a negative American characteristics, isolationism. Problem with World War I, bigger problem with World War II, huge problem there afterward. And right now, turning into a problem for the Republicans, because the Republicans want to go back into that isolationism. We were under the influence of a large group of Americans who did not want any involvement in the World War II. In the World War II, America was told by many of its politicians we need to stay out of it. It's a European problem. Anything that happened in Europe, no. They were into isolationist and isolationism. They didn't want America to be involved in any world events, just American events. Very much like MAGA, Make America Great Again. No. They're talking about America first, but none, I repeat, none of their actions is about making America first. Okay, so let's take a look at what exactly is, aside from those four things, anti American.
Right.
Obviously, to be anti-American, AA, you have to be the opposite of being American. So, let's see what that is. The opposite of being American. Well, first, there wouldn't be American freedom. And all that stuff written on the Statue of Liberty about giving your huddled masses yearning to breathe free and all that good stuff. No, that ain't American. Oh, okay. We got some more comments. Yes.
Not yet, honey. That's still tight.
Okay. Write a comment. All right. Okay. I'm gonna leave that alone.
All right,
Anti.
Cindy. Welcome everyone.
Sadiqa!
Sadiqa,
Hey, Mom and
Mama
Dad.
and Doc. Peace
Happy
be upon you
birthday.
both. And I just wanted to thank both of you for being a blessing in my life. I truly am grateful. I tried to call in, but there might have been a little mishap. All right. So try again, City, but we're going to sing you happy birthday on live, just like we promised you.
Yes. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Many more, City.
Many more. We so glad
Love
he
you.
was born. Happy. Okay. Defining anti-American. No freedom. No government of the people, by the people, for the people.
All righty.
None of that Abraham Lincoln stuff, because that Abraham Lincoln stuff is American. And he describes what this country should be functioning like. Of the people, for the people, by who? The people.
Yes.
Not the politicians, the people. And line 44.5, who got arraigned yesterday, obviously was not trying to do anything for the people.
No.
And we will get into the percentages and poll numbers of what the American people feel about this later on. Okay, no freedom, no government of the people, for the people, by the people, no universal suffrage. Females. Now, we gave you the vote back in the 20s. They're talking about taking it back right now. They are talking about making it more and more difficult and putting more and more barriers to voting. Suffrage is getting smaller and smaller and smaller because these anti-American people understand that if they let all of the people vote who should be voting, they will never win anything else again. And let's see, 2016, they won. They lost in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and soon to be 2024. They, the Republicans, the right wing, the MAGA party, should not win another general election ever. Ever. In some red states, they're going to maybe hold on to a few congressmen, maybe a senator or two.
Okay.
But generally, because again, they're going against the wishes of the American people. This isn't of the people, for the people, by the people at all. And they're not even pretending that it is. Okay, let's see, what else is anti-American? Limited education. Ron DeSantis, or DeSantis, or however he wants to pronounce his name now, he is a symbol of what the Republicans and what Western Europeans have been doing to Western Europeans for about 4 or 5 centuries that is limiting their ability to understand, limiting the things that they are presented to understand, and limiting the understanding they're allowed to derive. They don't want anybody teaching their children anything their parents haven't learned. Now, by definition, that is limiting tomorrow. By definition, that is limiting humanity. By definition, that is limiting their progeny, their own children. They are decreasing the amount of functional knowledge that they have. What else? Anti-American. Social Security is American. They want to limit that, stop that, totally and completely eliminate. They don't want no openness. They don't want no welcome for people coming to this country. Again, let's go back to the Statue of Liberty. By the way, Statue of Liberty was presented to us by France in 1885, the same year that Frederick Drumpf came to America. What about that, Fred? Yeah. He didn't understand about that. A pimp wouldn't. He didn't care about that. He might have been trying to pimp the Statue of Liberty. Lady Liberty, come on.
Yeah.
Who wants a piece of it?
Yeah.
Come pay me.
She's a big woman.
Yeah, she's a big woman. She needs a big man. But what these people have done was to limit the vision and the capacity of America. America first? No. They're trying to make America dead last. Dead last in understanding, dead last in education, dead last in openness, dead last in projecting future anything. Creations, inventions, directions. No. They want to go backward. Again, make America great again means we're going to go back to some time that we felt that it was great. That was when pink people ran everything, and there wasn't no bunch of Alkebulanese or Asians or Hispanics running around thinking that they were equal to pink people. That's what they want to bring it back to again.
They want to go all the way back to the caves.
Pretty much. No advanced ideas, no advanced urges, no advance in any place. Now, that's anti-American because Americans are open. America and the American ethos has always been about welcoming change, welcoming creativity, welcoming and to some degree being receptive to advancing, to leaving where you are to go to someplace, something better. Americans have a sense of belonging to a wide, receptive, innovative culture. Americans being welcoming, caring about others, caring about being right, being proud of the country. Americans are about being in due process. Freedom, religion, press, assembly. All of these things are Americans. All of these things are what line 44.5, the man who should be called Donald Drumpf, he wants to do away with all this stuff. Due process, wants to get rid of it. Trial by jury, no. Everybody's saying you can't try him by jury, no. Right to legal counsel, he's having problems with that. That has nothing to do with anti-American. It has to do with the fact that he's a lying sack of bourgeois that every lawyer who has good sense wants to avoid.
Right.
Again, we talked about the right to vote. They don't want, they want to put as many restrictions to voting as they possibly can, because voting will mean, if everybody who can vote votes, that will mean that they won't be elected very often. Right to petition the government for grievances. Nope, not unless you're pink. Alkebulanese or Hispanic, Asian, anything that's not pink. He wants to repeal the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries. All the stuff that has developed in that time, they want to get rid of. They want to take us back to 1850s. Don't you realize that that's right before the Civil War? They want to take us back to that time. And they're doing it. At least the Republican Party is doing it.
This is where we are.
Yes, indeed. And they want us to follow their leaders to that making America great again. And I'm afraid American leaders, they don't have American leaders. They have anti-American leaders. American leaders, be they CEO, generals, or general secretaries, must coordinate their followers to produce desired actions and outcomes. These actions and outcomes should be consistent with the values, aims, and goals of a democratic republic with multi-ethnic and multi-religious citizens. Any American leader who is successful must utilize that, because America is a multi-racial, multi-ethnic, multi-religious country. I don't see any of the leaders of the Republican MAGA Party as American. Special efforts should be exerted to live up to the principles and histories that bind the citizens of the nation together. You see anybody Republican doing that? Binding citizens together? Every one of them seems to have at least 3 or 4 different ways to separate American citizens from each other. Whether that separation is racial, sexual, political, cultural, intelligence, educational, environmental, as many ways as they can find to divide America. They're into doing that. And as we have been told for about 350 years, the thing that will destroy this country will not come from outside this country. It will come from inside this country. It will be people like these that will mark the end of this nation. Leaders in general. Line 44.5 swear for Skippy that he's a great American leader. Really? Okay, let's take a look at all the United States presidents that haven't been indicted. Okay, we start at George Washington and go through all the rest, the second row, the third row, fourth row, okay, yes. All right, fifth row, and then we get to the sixth row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 has a big X through it. He should not be on this list. He is the only United States president that has been indicted. Not once, twice. And that twice is going to be left behind in about 45 days. He's going to be 3 and 4 times indicted in the next 45 days. Leaders, to lead people, walk beside them. As for the best leaders, the people do not notice their existence. The next best leaders, the people honor and praise them. The next best leaders, the people fear them. And the next best leaders, the people hate them. When the best leaders' work is done, the people say, we did it ourselves. That's from Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher. Again, as everybody mostly knows, I grew up in Southeast Asia, so a whole bunch of my cultural upbringings are Oriental. Okay. Control is not leadership. Management is not leadership. Leadership is leadership. Okay, that's D.Hock, founder and CEO of Visa. I got a card in my wallet. The best is he who calls men to the best, and those who heed the call are also blessed. But worthless are those who call not, heed not the call, but rest and relax.
So we'll
Taking
stop
it-
right there and take the call, right?
Yes.
We have a call coming in.
We got a call coming in. We got a call coming. We got a call coming in.
All right, caller.
Caller. Hello, caller. Oh.
Well, we're gonna
okay.
keep going, and then you just jump right on in, and we'll.
Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there?
Okay.
City?
City.
That's her voice, but we don't hear her on our mics.
That's because you got it on speakerphone or something. I heard it on.
What on speakerphone? We don't have her on my phone.
We don't have a phone.
On speakerphone.
Oh, okay. You don't hear her?
No, we don't hear in our mics.
In our headphones.
In our headphones. All right, City, they're gonna fix that, and so we're gonna keep going until that's fixed. Hang in there, City.
Yes, don't hang up. Hang on. Okay. The best is he who calls men to the best, and those who heed the call are also blessed. But worthless are those who call not, heed not the call, but rest and relax. That's take it easy and chill out. This was quoted by Hesiod, who is an 8th century Greek poet.
Okay.
The task of leadership is not to put greatness into humanity, but to elicit it, because the greatness is already there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's John Buchan, and he is so absolutely correct. Greatness is part of our DNA. God made us to be great. In every human being, there's a little bitty piece that the Akan called the okra. And the okra is a little bit of God in every human being. We got to go deep to find it. We got to experiment with using it so that we understand its use and misuse. But that's all part of our humanity. The next one. Bless you.
Bless you. Bless you.
The next one. Men make history and not the other way around. Sweetheart.
Okay.
Again. Men make history and not the other way around. I don't fully agree with that. I think that history sometimes makes the man.
Right, because it's experience, the history of your life.
In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still or goes backward, like MAGA wants us to do. Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better.
Yes.
That's from Harry S. Truman.
And he's from Kansas.
Yeah, right on the Missouri border. Education makes a people easy to lead, but difficult to drive. Easy to govern, but hard to enslave. This is one of the reasons why Ron DeSantis and many of these pink males are trying to decrease the amount of knowledge, decrease the amount of understanding, decrease the amount of education, decrease the amount of exposure, decrease the amount of every and anything that children are exposed to, so that they will not become educated. And they will be much, much easier to enslave.
Yes.
Unless they keep you ignorant on biology, history, science, specifically genetics, and anthropology, they can't control you. They can't make you go to work for Ford or somebody else. You will be doing you, and you won't be doing them. And they know that. That's why their job is to keep you from getting the information about you, getting your own understanding, so that they can mislead you with theirs. The first responsibility of a leader is to define reality. The last is to say, thank you. And in between that first and that last, the leader is a servant.
Yes. Sure.
Does any of this sound at all like line 44.5? Does any of this sound at all like DeSantis or Scott or Pence or any of these Republicans that are running? No. Again, they are anti-American. They are anti-leadership. They are anti-understanding. They are anti-education. They are anti-knowledge. They are anti-human growth. They are anti-everything that marks an individual as being a human being.
Yes.
But do you know who almost meets every definition? Do you know who meets almost every, not just regular definition, but American definition?
Oh, City says,
And Humble G the Fiddler!
And Humble said, happy birthday to you, City.
Blessings to
And
you
she
as
said,
well.
Thanks so much, Humble. Blessings to you. And then, of course, Humble replies, blessing to you as well. Humble, we're so pleased that you were able to connect.
Yes. Ha-ha! One of the initial Global Entertainment members.
Yes.
He helped form this stuff. Okay. Now, as I was asking, let me ask again. Who do you know meets almost every definition of all of those leadership definitions that I read off? You know who? Guy by the name of Joey B. Yeah. He's president of the country right now. He meets just about every one of those definitions of leadership. Republicans don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the students whose lives he's freed from all the debt. They don't want to talk about the health care that he's given people who were going to die if he didn't give it to them. They're not going to talk about the lower price of the necessary drugs that he arranged. They're not going to talk about any of the ways that he has been an American leader and leading this country into a future that is enabling. They don't want to talk about that because they have no intention of doing any of those things. They only have the intention of robbing you of education, robbing you of understanding, and robbing you of your birthright as a human being. They don't care about being American. As line 44.5 has told us, he would rather be Russian or North Korean And all of the money and bank accounts that he kept in China, yeah, maybe there too, though he probably would not make it well in China. They would
He
kick his ass
might
out.
want to be an Arab as well.
Yes,
yeah,
Saudi Arabia. That's where he's going. I will probably make a bet with anybody in 5 years. That's where he'll be living most of the time. Within the next 5 years, that's where Line 44.5 will be spending most of his time. It's no accident that his son-in-law got $2 billion from these people. Okay. You can find a bunch of recent answers to the most historically relevant question of the day by going online to Trump indictment copy only and reading
the indictment.
Yes, the indictment. Aha! That's the one. That you way to go. Excellent. Reading Jack Smith's very easily read indictment. And what does line 44.5 say about the indictment? Weaponized Department of Justice. He calls it a witch hunt. Hold on. Okay. What's a witch hunt? If I'm not mistaken, a witch hunt was a search for an individual or group of individuals who was harmful to the culture, society, or group. Yeah, this is a witch hunt, and we've found the witch. It is line 44.5. He is harmful to the nation. He is harmful to the planet. He's harmful to all life.
Yes.
And needs to be eliminated. I'm serious as a heart attack. You have to excuse me. My first job was being a soldier in the United States Army. That job required not just patriotism, it required you sacrificing your life for this nation.
Yes.
So anybody like line 44.5 who doesn't understand patriotism, who doesn't understand sacrifice, who doesn't understand and has quite boldly asked people, why are patriots patriots? Why do they do this? I don't understand it.
They're suckers.
Yeah, call them suckers. I take great personal offense at that.
Yes.
I want to punch a motherfucker. I'm serious as a heart attack. That's just truth. I'm just telling you what's real. Because I've had lots and lots of my buddies, my friends, my people die in my fucking arms, sacrificing themselves for this nation. And this person who doesn't give a damn about the United States of America, who wants to take all of the potential harm that can be inflicted upon this nation and hand it to others? Yeah. I want to do some bad things, and I can't even go there. I really can't.
Wouldn't be good.
Would not be good. But that's kind of how I am. And that's kind of how a whole bunch of Americans are right now. And it's going to get worse. Let me tell you this. Again, 45 days. 45 days, almost all of the people who are supporting line 44.5 will not support him. 45 days as these indictments pile up and more of the craziness, the insanity, I mean, seriously, that he is full of and MAGA is full of. If somebody in your family was saying the things that these people are saying, you would try to get them to a doctor. I'm serious, because they are acting, sounding, saying insane things that they are telling people we believe. insane things that they're saying are true. They are living in an alternate reality that we cannot let these people take control of our government. Read the indictment. If you do not read this and understand the meaning of what it indicates was done to put this nation and the world in danger, you have no right to say, think, or do anything regarding the direction and route mankind should take or would take. Because what do those who have read the indictment have to say? Okay. Attorney General Bill Barr. Now you got to understand, Attorney General Bill Barr was one of the people who was so tight up line 44.5's buttocks that he could not turn without endangering Bill Barr's neck. He did a hell of a job on the Mueller report and lied about everything that the Mueller report said to protect line 44.5. He did everything legal and illegal that could possibly be done to support line 44.5. Bill Barr read the indictment, and Bill Barr said, this is not political. This indictment is not about documents. This is horrible behavior regarding nuclear secrets. Facts are not relevant to his supporters. But if half of what has been presented is found out to be true, his goose is cooked. That's Bill Barr after reading the indictment. A CBS poll shows line 44.5 taking nuclear/military documents would be a national security risk. 80% of voters agree. 80% agree that this is a major national security risk. Now, the 20% who don't agree, they haven't read the document and they're guaranteed to be MAGA. 64% of the GOP don't agree. Now, 64% of Republicans say that having nuclear secrets, battle plans, defenses of your nation, your nation's weak spots, the places where the nation is vulnerable, in your toilet, next to a printer, a copy machine. And if you see those pictures that are in the indictment, one of the pictures shows all these documents all sitting around a copy machine. 64% of Republicans say that's all right. You can do that.
Most of them haven't read the document.
I guarantee almost all of them haven't read the document. Line 44.5's entire 2016 campaign of Republicans revolved around his lock-her-up request regarding Hillary Clinton and classified documents. Read his words or listen to what he says in 2016 about classified documents. He understands the seriousness of what he was doing. He just doesn't give a damn. He doesn't give a damn about this nation. He doesn't give a damn about his laws, and he thinks he is beyond and above them. A malignant narcissist would.
Yes.
His mind doesn't think well. That's who he is. That's who he has always been. This is not a new thing. As I have said for the past, since 2016, Line 44.5 does not worry me at all. He has always been a coward. He has always been a malignant narcissist. He's always been afraid of real, regular people. What bothers me, what scares me to hell and back is the people that support him. Mm-hmm. Because anybody who would support this lying, amoral, frightened bully who is a traitor, anybody who would support him needs to be eliminated. Needs to be eliminated from having anything to do with anything that points a direction for this country or its people to go. Because you don't think well. Mm-hmm. Last but not least, page 9 in the indictment.
Say that again.
Page number 9 in his indictment.
Okay.
Line 44.5's own statement regarding handling of documents. Read page 9. He condemns himself. But again, he has always condemned himself. It is no accident that he, out of his own mouth, has given anybody who wants to eliminate him all the ammunition they need. Because he really doesn't like himself. And he has said that in the past. Mm-hmm. He has said, I don't want to look too deep inside myself because I may not like what I see. He knows he won't like what he sees. Yep. He knows he is a piece of shit. And he wants to be eliminated. And he's doing everything he can to be eliminated. The final pages of his indictment show maximum sentence and fines that line 44.5 can get. He can get up to 400 years in prison and pay fines of $9.5 million. Mm-hmm. Waltine Nada, originally from Guam, he joined the Navy and ended up being a cook in the White House kitchen. And being from Guam, being a quote-unquote foreigner, mm-hmm. Made line 44.5 feel superior to him and made him feel he had a right to use his life. Mr. Nada, your life has just been used up, because he can get up to 90 years in prison and fines of $1.5 million. He ain't got $1.5 million, and I don't think he got 50 years, let alone 90. Okay. We got any more, Carl? All right. Life has a purpose. The Most High and the ancestors all agreed for us to be born. Mm-hmm. And we were born to accomplish a specific purpose. That purpose was going to have challenges that we are expected to find solutions for. We have, as I said before, a part of God within us, a part that the Akan call the okra. That part of God in every human being allows us to perform miracles. But in order to tap that portion of your being, you must reach deep down inside without the fears and the reservations that pink people have put on just about everybody who looks inside themselves.
Ashe.
Seeing is what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. Again, your spirit enables, protects, and envisions. That's why listening, which is envisioning the meaning of what you hear, is so spiritual. Mm-hmm. Hearing is not spiritual. Hearing is physical. It's what your physical being does. It's what your ears and those nerves in your middle ear do. They hear. But unless you send it to your spirit and make an image of what you hear means, you have no memory of what you hear. Because there is no spiritual energy in what you hear. No emotional spiritual kick or residual that makes you pay attention to, listen for more things, and utilize the images that you created to enable yourself. We want to teach people to listen so that they can see themselves not through the eyes that Western European has, but through God's vision. So that you can utilize and reap the rewards of the true trivalent nature of your being. Now, the Hip Hop Trio Plus.
And before we get to that, I'd like to make an announcement. Juneteenth celebration will be at the Disciples Christian Church on June the 18th from 3 to 6 p.m. You can get your tickets at Eventbrite. It happened to be on Father's Day. Our daughters are performing. Their organization, did not write down the name of the organization. I have some Neuro, right, are going to be performing.
Hey.
And so they'd like to invite you all out. So do go to Eventbrite and get your ticket.
Juneteenth, it's one of the things that our ancestors, through slavery, contributed to America, a specific day of the year in which you celebrate and recognize freedom, liberty, all that good stuff.
Ashe, honey.
Now?
Now.
Okay. The Hip Hop Trio Plus got a song. It's all about the world that we live in. And not just the world in which we live, the reality that we share with others, but at least to some degree, how you can utilize the world that we live in to go above where you are living. You can always transcend the world that you live in through utilizing your spirit, mind, and body cohesively. Utilizing your trivalency allows you to, again, do things that many people consider to be miracles. They're not really. They're simply a trivalent being in action. And we got a song all about that, and it's called This Is the World We Live In.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. Life has a purpose before we even came to existence. Everybody had a mission that we said we had to do. Beg the Most High to come back so that we can serve and fulfill what we said we here to do. But no, life isn't easy like that. We came into this world with a bunch of challenges, but luckily enough the Most High got us blessed, giving us a grace that we naturally possess. So why do we sit around acting like we don't? Got so many gifts that we naturally own. We get here for greater things, we can feel it in the soul. Gotta go deep, gotta search the unknown. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in.
Well, I got a few questions, cause I really get guessing. What would you do if you really knew you? We're on a mission.
Teaching you to listen.
Make images of what you hear.
Listening's a spirit.
Not lying.
It hears it, forgot what I feel.
Not near.
To the power of you, release. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. You can choose. All right.
Yeah.
This is the world we live in. But you don't have to stay here. You can transcend it in 133 seconds with the trivalent understanding noetic.
Yes.
Please like, please share,
Yes.
please subscribe.
Yes.
Because this show is over. And as such, my wife and I always have to wish you peace. And that stands for proper education always corrects error.
Made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.